Today I will present our work called Novelty-driven Evolutionary Neural Architecture Search. So, any neural architecture search algorithm tries to maximize the architecture accuracy. In this work, we are trying to search for two types of cell. One is the normal cell, another one is the reduction cell. So, now how do we represent an architecture? We use a supernet to represent all the architectures present in the search space, and to represent an architecture we use a 2D matrix called architecture parameter alpha. Any architecture search algorithm using supernet normally requires to be run multiple times to get a good architecture. So the main motivation for our work is that can we design an algorithm that can generate a set of potential architectures in just a single run. The way we do this is by posing the architecture search problem as a multi-objective problem, where the first objective is to maximize the architecture accuracy and the second objective is to maximize the architecture novelty. The architecture accuracy is measured using the supernet as discussed previously. The architecture novelty basically tries to measure have we already seen this search space or not. So for example, here the red dot is in a search space where we have already explored. In comparison, now the red dot is in a search space which has not been explored that much. So now how do we measure the architecture novelty? This is done using the formula dis A1 A2, which basically measures how dissimilar architecture A1 is from A2. The first step is to have an archive of already explored architecture. Now we want to measure how novel a newly discovered architecture A is with comparison to the archive. This is done by first calculating the dissimilarity of new architecture A with respect to each architecture in the archive. Next, we sort all the calculated dissimilarity metric in ascending order. Next, select the top two least dissimilar architecture from the archive. Finally, the architecture novelty is calculated as the mean of the two dissimilarity metrics. So in general, the architecture novelty is calculated by taking the mean of the k nearest neighbor uh, in terms of the dissimilarity metric. We use the NSGA-II for solving the multi-objective problem. So the NSGA-II will provide a set of architecture at the end, which would be a diverse set due to the one objective being maximizing the architecture novelty. And lastly, we choose the best architecture out of the set of architecture. So we have designed an algorithm that gives us a set of architecture in just a single run. So as a result, we can see that when we use our method with only one objective of maximizing the accuracy, the search space exploration is not that good, as can be seen from the orange dot. Whereas when we use the multi-objective, we can see that the search space exploration is pretty high. Here we are showing the diversity of population in each generation. So when we have only a single objective of maximizing the architecture accuracy, the diversity reduces with generation, but because the supernet accuracy is very noisy, the standard deviation is pretty high. So when we run the algorithm with only novelty as a objective, the result is not that good, even though the diversity is pretty high for each generation, because the algorithm has no idea which architectures are good and which are bad. But for the multi-objective version, we get the best of both worlds and get a very good result.